Hello, my name is Brianna Sinclair. This is my third week on HRT, and my regimen hasn't changed. I'm still taking the same amount that I was before, and my measurements have not changed. So I'm still 34 inches in the bust, 34 inches in my waist, and I am 25 and a half inches in my 34 in my hips, and I'm 25 and a half in my waist. Hey, and you decided to join us from the beginning. You gonna say hi to everybody? It's been... Yeah. Well, so, updates so far are, so far I have kind of reached I think maybe the peak so far as like my emotional range increasing. I'm extremely happy with everything so far. I haven't noticed any decrease in strength yet, because I just did a physical fitness test, and all my numbers came out pretty well. For a physical fitness test, I have to do push-ups, plank, and a 1.5-mile run every so often, and I got 90 push-ups, 3 minutes and 16 seconds in the plank, and I got 10 minutes and 50 seconds for my 1.5 miles. I'm not fast, but I do okay. Yeah, so something I did notice is my nipples are starting to hurt a little bit. It's a weird feeling. I know it means that my breast tissue is starting to grow. So there's that. So I'm excited for it. It's just a weird feeling because it's not like an intense pain like what I've heard it described as. Most people say it's this ridiculous pain that's just insane. It make it seem like it'll just drop you like a punch. But in my opinion right now, it's probably gonna get worse, and I guess this is just how it starts, but it's like a confusing raw feeling because you have this raw feeling where it's been rubbed raw kind of, but at the same time the reason it's confusing is because nothing's really been done to like rub it raw to physically. So it's a little odd, and the feeling's just different because I'm not used to feeling anything there. You are really extra today. Something else is I have not noticed my sex drive drop. That is something I'm really happy has stayed the same so far. It is harder to actually do things with it though. Like, I'm trying to put this as delicately as possible. It is harder for me to essentially just get off sexually, and that is something that I understand. It's just not something that I'm happy about, but at the same time, hello. At the same time, I know it's gonna be worth it in the end. So those are kind of negative but positive things. So I haven't really noticed my measurements changing. I'm just expecting to start notice breast growth, and I'm expecting my emotional range to widen even further whenever whenever my regimen changes. If you swap me. He's my little cuddle buddy right now. You're just right. Cuddle buddy. Let's see. I did come out to somebody else at my first job. They actually didn't know, and it kind of just started out. They came to my makeup store and were buying makeup with a friend of theirs that I also work with, but I don't really know the friend too well. And we were at work, it was just me and her, and she started asking me about like makeup advice and like why I worked in a makeup store when I have this other job. And I told her, essentially, and she thought it was really cool. She had a couple questions, and I was more than happy to answer them. So that's been essentially my week. Other than this one being extremely extra tonight, that's pretty much it. I am still kind of nervous to kind of present more feminine out in public. I'm not 100% sure why, to be honest with you, because even today, like I did meet like a transgender woman who didn't pass as well as like some do, but she passed very well, and she was extremely nice. But she had no problem going out and as herself, and I commend her for that because it takes a lot to do that. I think the only reason I really stopped was there was a lot of change, and I'm not really one that likes change. I have like a hair on my nose. Like you put it there. There we go. Sorry, his hairs get like everywhere, I guess. Yeah, this week, I'm not 100% sure what is going to start happening, but I am hoping that I do start noticing some growth. That way, I have at least a little bit of something to be proud of. As of right now, whenever I just don't feel like I'm presenting as well, like even in my own, I try and like over-feminize things, which is kind of a weird way to put it, but it's what I do, just to make me feel more feminine. Like, if I'm having like a day where I really want to feel feminine, I'll do like a full body routine, and at the end of it, I'll put on like all of my shapewear and stuff, which I don't usually wear all of it. It's most of it I wear out in public normally, but some of it I just wear in private because it makes me feel better, because it's just for me. I think that's pretty much it. I started to get some more makeup. I had to kind of like practice with, so that way I can get better, because I'm doing okay. I think I did a little bit heavy on like my blush and stuff, and I can't wait till I don't have to color correct. So I need to get started on that laser soon. It was recommended that if you're going to transition, that you start doing laser and electrolysis even before you come out, or start hormones, so that way you have some progress to start off with, because it is a long process. I can speak from experience. I've been a little extra tired. Um, but I get through the day and it's all good. Mostly, like, I have a monster every day to kind of wake me up. Sometimes I have two if I'm having like a really late day, to kind of help keep me awake. Because there are some days where I'll go from like 5 in the morning all the way up to 1 the next morning, and those are my work days. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of hard to believe it's been 3 weeks since I really started. A little over 3 weeks. It's been like 3 weeks and a day, really. Yeah. And by the time I think this video is posted, because I've been posting them kind of like a week out, I'll record them and then post it like a week later. It'll be 4 weeks. So tomorrow I plan to post my 2 week video and show everyone my progress then. It's really, so the emotional range increase is just different because it's like you're excited almost all the time, but not like anxious. It's like, it's just a good feeling. It's an incredibly good feeling that's very assuring and relaxing. And the world, it may not be fully open to people going through this journey. I will say most don't care, and a lot of people compliment me on like my makeup and my style, and just even for coming out as the way I am. And that gives me hope. It gives me hope that the world is moving in a pretty solid direction as far as like just being more open to small things. Because in my mind, me changing is small and compared to like a lot of other things going on in the world. Of course it's big for me, but a lot of things for me are big. Whereas like a lot of things for the world are small. So for me, taking this big step, I hope helps the world move in even a little bit into a direction where everybody's more informed and open about things like being the gender that you identify as, and not all of us. I can't really think of any of us that are really predatory. In all of my years, I think I've heard of one transgender woman that was predatory, and that was, I think she was scamming men out of something. As wrong as that is, because men have it hard as it is, they have it a lot harder than what they get credit for. But that's not like anything that people think we're gonna do. Because most of us just want to live our life. We want to wake up, go to work, come home, relax, and that's it. We want to like enjoy the remainder of what we have. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize. Because I look at like the protesters at the pride parades and stuff like that, and I don't attend them because it's not that I don't believe in the protest. I'm fully supportive in it. a lot of my brothers and sisters go and show up and show out, essentially, and I'm happy for them. Me, I feel like my form of protest is showing people in my own way that even though I'm different, I can do the exact same things that I should be doing. I should be going to work, I should be living my life, I should be doing what needs to be done, being an adult. I shouldn't be doing a lot of things that bring negative attention to our community, so I don't try and engage in insulting other people like that, because if I go to work and I'm nothing but happy, people are going to remember that, but they're not going to, they're going to remember that as being like me, very happy and living myself, by myself, as myself. But the moment I show them any form of anger, retaliation, or, well, maybe not retaliation, but a negative side to things, that's what they're going to remember. It's a lot easier for people to remember the negative things, because there's less of them, so it's easier. I know a lot of people that have made it through some seriously hard schools just on that concept alone. Is like, if you remember what you can't do, anything else is permissible. And that's how they got through running incredible machines like nuclear reactors and stuff like that. They said as long as you remember what you can't do, everything else is permissible. And that was it, because the amount of things that you had to remember you could do outweighed the amount of things that you couldn't do. So if there's a million things that you can remember that you can do and only like 10 that you need to remember that you can't do, it's much more valuable for you to remember the 10. And I think that's kind of where the negative concept comes in. It's the same thing in like school. You may get a test that's 100 questions, and if you get one wrong, that's the one that makes your grade. It doesn't matter if you got 99 of them right and therefore got a 99%. That one is the difference, and that's what they're going to remember, because that one changed your grade. And that's the one they'll focus on. So I deliberately don't show people a negative side to transitioning, because as far as I know, there really isn't one. Sure, my sex drive is weird. Sure, I think right now they're still pectorals, but they hurt a little bit. But a lot of things hurt, and it's a good type of pain. And my sex drive being weird is nobody else's concern but me. And those who are, I guess, curious about the journey. I have zero regrets about doing what I'm doing. I know my family isn't fully supportive of it, but I believe they'll come around. I still talk to my mom and my siblings for the most part. There's a little less communication between me and my siblings, but they'll come around. If I'm just giving them enough time, I believe they'll come around. Most do. Because my life doesn't affect theirs. Of course, I see them at like family reunions and get-togethers, but what I do on my own is what I do. It has zero bearing on what they do. I Findy's kind of done. Well, that's this week's report, and I'm making this video on the 15th of June. It's been a wonderful 3 weeks. And I can't wait for the next one. This is Brianna Sinclair signing off.